welcome back to day 9 of the trade in this series. Today's trade is taken on the 13th of November and it is on NASDAQ. It's a 5-minute entry. Let's get into it. I'll show you just what the profits look like. It was a $2,000 trade, so $2,087, a couple cents, was made on this day. Let's look at the actual trade itself. If you've been watching all along, I talked about how at this time, NASDAQ had been stuck in consolidation and was starting to get a little frustrating to trade. Lots of break evens or light break evens hit. And the good news is, on this day, we finally broke out. But this was a nice day to finally see some movement really happening outside of this overall consolidation zone. So what we have then overnight, it kind of bounces around, consolidates back into that zone. And then finally, a New York session, there is the breakout. The 1 hour zone that easy exit marks is a good zone. It does respect that a lot. I did extend it a bit more. It's just so you can see there were areas down in here that I felt like could be potential liquidity grabs. To be careful and make sure that we were really breaking, I extended that zone even lower, and that's the overall area that you're seeing there with the blue shaded box that I drew. You do have a breakout of the 1 hour easy exit, and then it does break even below my level that I had wanted it to break out of. And it comes back up and it does retest. And then I do get a strong bearish candle showing trend continuation. So I have my breakout, my retest, and then my trend continuation candle. The most recent smiley face is bearish, the direction we want to go. All of my confluences are met here. We are trading with the overall trend, which the most immediate overall trend is bearish. We have a breakout of the consolidation zone. We have a retest and we have a bearish smiley face. Because of that, I am then holding this trade for a 1.5 R. And at 1.5, I will then move my trade to slight profit or break even area. And then I will allow it to run. The green line was my 1.5, which it does get to. And then I did have something just worth noting here. If you look over here to the left, I have a gap area that you can see, and that's usually like a good spot for a market to grab extra liquidity. If I'm looking to trail, that's kind of an area I'll look beyond my 1.5 or beyond a zone. If it breaks that zone, that next area, or breaks that 1.5 I'm looking for, like where would the next logical place be for the market to go? I did circle that gap, thinking that would be a good place for them to sweep up some liquidity if they needed to. That was kind of the goal. I did move my stop loss at the 1.5 reward, which is that green line. And once that 1.5 had continued moving along and I felt like secured and we did break that 1.5 level, I moved again once I was at 2R. So I secured 2R once the trade was at 4R. I hope I'm making sense here, but basically I'm trailing along. Every time I hit kind of a milestone, I will move the trade a little bit more and more in profit. So that way I'm not giving money back to the market. The way this trade plays out is that I had the trade running at 4R. So it was about 4K in profit, and 2R of that was secured. When the market comes back in this area and it kind of taps me out of there, I ended up getting 2R, so $2,000 off of this trade versus the 4,000 or so that it was at. That's just the risk you take when you're willing to trail a trade like this. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. My goal was to fill that gap, which would have been a 5R. It does come back and fill that gap. It's a little bittersweet because your analysis is right and it could have been 5R, but it didn't get there for me because I was trailing a kind of close behind. But I had already talked about this in the last video. I'm at my goal for the month at this point. I wasn't trying to give money back to the market. I'm happy to take an extra 2,000. I don't need to be greedy and hold for a 5 with the risk of potentially losing 1,000. The market actually does come down and it does fill that gap. And I find that happens a lot. So if you're somebody who's into gaps or these balances, I believe. Thank you, Alex, for commenting and letting me know it is indeed called imbalances now. If you are into them, definitely look into them more. They happen a lot. The market is drawn to them. They can be a really useful tool. If zones isn't your thing, I definitely suggest looking at things like gaps or imbalances or stuff like that as well. That could be another helpful thing to find. And they're relatively easy to spot once your eye is trained to find them. So that is it for today, and I will see you back tomorrow.